Hi everybody, I hope you've been well. Time's flying by as usual, well into the new financial year, and I thought it'd be a good idea to give you a quick contact, talk about a couple of things that have been on my mind lately, and to encourage, of course, people to get in touch whenever you need to about these or any other things. Two completely different topics, but can be fairly quickly covered in this video, I hope. The first one relates to a couple of really good rule changes that have come into superannuation effectively from last month, the beginning of July. The first of them relates to that downsizer rule you may have heard of, where you've got the opportunity to add significant monies to superannuation without affecting those limits, those deposit limits that exist. If you sell the home that you've lived in, subject to all sorts of conditions. So I just wanted to raise it with you. It's been around for a couple of years, but as at 1st of July, the eligibility was reduced from 65 down to 60 years old. So it's a particularly attractive option for people to keep in mind. So if that's you, and you're thinking of selling your home and moving somewhere different, then it may be something to raise with us even before a scheduled meeting, of course, and we can see if there's some benefits there for you. The other rule is really useful as well as a way of getting extra money into superannuation for people who may have stopped work, and that's the non-concessional contribution rule, which previously stopped for the last couple of years at least at age 67, but that's been extended out to 74 now. So that comes in very handily for people who maybe have sold a house and there's a significant amount of money available in excess of downsizer, or for people who maybe get an inheritance and want to be able to put after-tax money into superannuation later than was previously allowed. So we are going through as a project all the files just to isolate people that it may be particularly useful for. But if you think that's you, you've got a lot of extra surplus monies outside of superannuation in the bank or other investments, and you're in that age group and it might be worth a chat, then of course get in touch with us sooner if you wish to. But we'll be in touch in due course, or we'll pick it up at reviews, that kind of thing. So very useful opportunity. Second topic that is really topical at the moment, and there's been a lot of coverage about it anyway in different sources, but that's scams, and these scams are everywhere at the moment, and some very convincing ones too. Very easy to be dragged into it, and before you know it, you might be on a slippery slope that just gets worse and becomes a very deep hole very quickly. So a couple of little tips I think are useful to keep in mind. The first thing is to simply be aware that there are a lot of scams around now, and that they're highly sophisticated emails that look very good and very genuine. So I think if you see an email or get a phone call or something that might seem a little bit off, then be on guard. You know, be aware that scams are about. So maybe this is one of those, and check it out first. A good place to do that, either before getting contact from a scammer or even after receiving an email that you might think is a bit dodgy, is the government's, it's the ACCC's site. They run it. It's called ScamWatch. So scamwatch.gov.au is a good place to go for a lot of information about the common types of scams that might be around at the moment. Other than that, I think there's a couple of important tips to remember, and that's to be really wary about any requests for personal information, particularly unsolicited requests. Were you expecting this contact? If it's out of the ordinary, then there's probably something wrong. And like I said, a lot of the email contacts in particular can look very genuine with similarly worded email addresses or with very effective logos. So it's often good to check those out by getting onto that organisation's website and seeing, or giving them a call to see if this email is genuine. Very important not to click on any links in those emails as well. So stop and think is really the key there. Be conscious, be aware that these scams are about. Never click on those links, and if you're unsure, we're happy here, Tyler and I, that you give us a call if you're unsure and you've received an odd email before you open it up or do weird links. We can maybe be a sounding board for you to just hopefully be a little bit more certain. Phone calls too, a lot of phone call scams, I beg your pardon, where they get in touch, you take a call, and then all of a sudden they're haranguing you, they're threatening, and they're threatening action if you don't do certain things, and it's a technique that is very effective, and until you're in that situation it's hard to understand. But never be bullied or threatened. Hang up if you've already taken the call and that's where you find things going. The best idea though is, most of us have mobile phones and things now, or phones that display the caller's number. If it's a number you don't know, you're not familiar with, you don't have the owner of that number saved in there, just don't answer it. Simple as that. If they're genuine, they'll leave a message. If they're not, then you've probably avoided a scammer. Never call back. Never ring back to an unanswered number and say, to a missed call and find out who it was. Just don't do it. Like I said, they'll leave a message. But the main thing is be conscious and be confident, and don't allow yourself to be bullied. Genuine organisations won't bully and threaten over the phone. So I hope this was helpful. We're always here to bounce things around with, so take care. Please give me a call if there's anything on your mind, and otherwise we'll catch up at your next review. Okay, all the best.